Hi, it's April 20th, 2023. I'm Todd Dunn. It's early afternoon, and right now I am in Southwest Harbor in the parking area for the Upper Town Dock, which is one of the two municipally owned docks on the north side of Southwest Harbor. If we look out here, we can see the winter configuration for the Upper Town Dock this year, which is just one float. Normally they leave all the floats in, which walk over here a little, are tied off to those pilings, and they provide plenty of space for dinghies and at least one area where you can bring a bigger boat alongside for up to 2 hours. Across the harbor there is the Great Harbor Marina, where I keep my sailboat in the summer, and sequesters should be in the marina in about 5 weeks. We'll see. And the harbor is pretty empty, although I can see the high school sailing team is out there today. And I don't know if you can pick it out, but just over the breakwater to the marina, there is a sailboat that looks like it's anchored over there. So that is the first boat either on a mooring or anchored out that I have seen this year. Okay, the reason I'm out today is to get a little exercise to strengthen my right knee, where I had the total knee replacement 7.5 weeks ago. So I'm going to walk a little bit, and what I thought I'd do is walk on Clark Point Road, which goes from downtown Southwest Harbor along the north shore of the harbor out to the end of Clark Point, where the Coast Guard station is located. And this town dock parking area is about halfway out Clark Point Road. So I'm just going to walk over to Clark Point Road and make a decision about which way I'm going. Now there is a sidewalk on Clark Point Road, but it's only on one side of the road. So that means that, and it doesn't stay on the same side of the road all the time. So that means that you have to go back and forth across the road. Okay, here we go. Now many of the homes here on Clark Point Road, especially the larger ones, are bed and breakfasts or inns in the summer. And most of the time, if a house is used in that way, there's a sign. Now, the fact that there is a sign board here does not mean that this house is still a bed and breakfast, but it certainly has been in the past. The bed and breakfast business here is highly seasonal and is pretty demanding in that you have to be open 7 days a week. You have to clean the rooms. You have to provide food for the people in the morning. So, that's a big demand for a business that's really only going to last about 4, maybe 5 months at most. Now, let's walk down. This is a noteworthy home. This house used to belong to the well-known Southwest Harbor boat builder, Ralph Stanley. The home was sold a few years ago, and Ralph passed away. But he lived there for the bulk of his life, and the buildings behind the house were his boat building sheds, and there is a marine railroad back there. The bulk of the homes on the water side, now we're walking west toward downtown right now, and the water side of the road, as you can tell, is the left-hand side when you're walking west. You can see the harbor between those two houses. And back to what I was going to say, most of the homes on the water side are summer homes. The values of the homes there are quite high. I very much doubt that you could buy anything on the water side of Clark Point Road for under $1 million, and some of the homes will be substantially more than that. See, some of them are pretty nice. They might be older homes, but they have been kept up very well. On the other side, got some large homes, still very expensive, but not as expensive as the homes on the water side of the road, and also not as grand. And some of these homes, not all, are year-round homes. So as you can see, the grass here is starting to green up. The trees have buds, and even a few of them, like right over there, are starting to leaf out. So spring is starting here in Southwest Harbor, Maine. There's another nice waterfront home. It's a nice view. And that one is obviously a summer home. As we continue west on Clark Point Road, you can see the houses on the other side are much smaller and not quite as grand. Now, a lot of these houses date back to the 1800s and or are, early 1900s homes, and so a lot of historic homes here. Here's another nice one. I believe this one sold last year. I think it was listed for about 1.7. It's bigger than it looks. At least it seemed bigger when I looked at the real estate listing. And as we head up here, we'll see more homes. This is a pretty old home here. You can tell because it's got a central chimney that used to be the sole heating source for the home. And the homes on the other side are perhaps not all as grand and well kept, but still they have a nice view of the harbor. And here we go. Here is an older home with another older home behind it, and then their garage. And a lot of the homes here are sort of several homes, one behind the other, on the lots, because this area was built up at a time when there were no cars and people walked, or perhaps rode a horse, or went by wagon. Here's another very nice little home. I believe this one is a summer home as well, although the people are clearly here. So, as we continue down here, the difference in the maintenance level of the homes from the water side to the inland side is really quite noteworthy. I'm going to walk on the other side because of these workmen here. They are putting solar panels on the roof of this house up here. So that's quite a change there. And I'm just going to go up and go down this one last street here. And then I'll turn around and head back. Just past these trucks here and vans is a three-way intersection between Clark Point Road, Herrick Road, and High Street. Let's walk down here. This is Harbor Street, and pretty much every house down here is a summer home. And there is no turnaround down here. If you drive down here, you're gonna either have to use somebody's driveway or back out. But we'll walk down and have a look from the end of the street. And nice greenhouse here, small garage that I think is associated with that house. And somebody's actually here at this house. And nice, older but well kept home. And we're going to get down to the end of the road in just a minute. The fact that so many of the homes here in a town like Southwest Harbor are summer homes impacts availability of housing here quite a bit. There's a nice little home, not too fancy, but it is right on the water. And another very nicely kept home, also right on the water. Now, this part of the harbor is very shallow and does dry a bit at low tide. It's about half tide right now. There isn't a lot of water right in front of these homes. And looking back at the other side of some of the homes we walked by to get over here, and those docks there are just this side of the Upper Town docks. So we started just on the other side of those docks. So, nice view. There's the marina. And if you know where to look, you can see the masts of that sunken schooner that has been over there, sunk, since late December in Southwest Harbor. And here's a nice little home. See, nice homes here on the waterfront. But as I was saying, the high number of summer homes here means that there's very little rental property in Southwest Harbor. I was just at the supermarket here, and I heard a couple of the employees talking about the fact that their winter rental was going away at the end of the month, and they would have no place to live, and they didn't know what they were going to do. So that's a very common situation, and there are a few winter rentals available, but every year it seems like there are less. Winter rentals are usually summer homes or homes that are rented out by the week in the summer, and then a few, not that many, owners will opt to rent the house out for the winter months, typically till the end of April, and just so they don't have to winterize the house, which, depending on that particular house, can be rather expensive. There we go. The large building over there used to be Morris Yachts, where Morris built the bulk of the sailboats that they built. It sat vacant for many years, And then just 2 years ago, the owners of the Great Harbor Marina bought it. And they are using the property and the buildings to store boats. Okay, we're coming back. See Solar Logics. Okay. You can see the solar racking on the roof. Now, as I head back, I'm going to talk a little bit about this video. This is a kind of experimental video in that I'm shooting it in 4K, which is new for me. I've never used 4K before, and I'm not even sure that my software will let me edit it. If it doesn't, I'm going to have to upload this directly to YouTube without editing, which will probably have a few spots where I stumble over words. So I'm just going to walk back to the town dock where I parked and end this video because it's getting a little long and my leg is getting a little tired. Altogether, this will have been, about 3/4 of a mile walk. So, a good workout for my leg. I've only gone farther than that once, but I'm trying to walk some every day, and some days I don't manage as much as others. For example, depending on how my leg feels after today, I may not walk that far tomorrow. And it looks like we've got good weather until Sunday anyway, so that won't be a reason for me not to walk. So, a little bit more of Clark Point Road here in Southwest Harbor, Maine on the 20th of April, 2023. Now, Clark Point Road has a fair number of inns and bed and breakfasts on it, and out at the end of the road there are a number of businesses. There's Hamilton Marine, which is a marine chandlery. There's Down East Diesel, which is a marine engine service and maintenance operation. And there's also Southwest Boat, which runs boat storage and also some boat maintenance. And then the big operation at the end of Clark Point is the U.S. Coast Guard Station, which is one of the bigger employers right here in town. They even have their own street just up the road a little bit where they have built quite a substantial housing area. There's a little loop that's all Coast Guard housing. So, get another look at some of the waterfront homes here. And see, that one's got a nice deck you could sit out on, look out over the water. And then we've got other homes further up. Now, there are a bunch of pickup trucks and everything up there. I could hear nailing, so I think somebody is getting some work done on their house. And other fairly large homes. A lot of the homes here at one time belonged to, if you will, schooner captains that sailed on freight schooners out of Southwest Harbor, up and down the coast. And the bigger ones, as I mentioned earlier, are mostly inns and bed and breakfasts now. We haven't got far to go before I'm going to turn off, because my leg is definitely getting tired. As I said, it's a bit afternoon, and I have found that my leg tends to get swollen as the day goes on. Swelling is still a problem 7.5 weeks after surgery. And as my leg swells, its flexibility decreases and the muscles get sore. So that limits how far I can walk on a typical afternoon walk. Of course, I am trying to maintain a normal, if somewhat slow, pace, and also gait. In other words, I'm trying not to favor my right leg, which takes more energy from it. Okay, here we are, Upper Town Dock Road, and we'll walk over and take one last look at the harbor from there, and then I'll end the video. Traffic is passed. It's not very far. Southwest Harbor has very good public access to the water relative to, say, Bass Harbor or even Bar Harbor. Northeast Harbor, pretty much the entire waterfront there is public, at least on the town side of the harbor, which makes it very pleasant. And over in the town of Seal Harbor, there is also a nice public beach, the Sandy Beach there. But other than that, there's no public access. Okay, we'll just walk over and have a last look at the harbor from over here before I call this video finished. Okay, here we go. Looking out. And there's the Marina and the west end of the harbor. And the spot we walked to was the small building on the dock right in the middle of this field of view. So that's Southwest Harbor and a little bit of Clark Point Road on April 20th, 2023. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see the full detail, assuming it uploads in 4K, please take a look at it. Thanks for watching.